If a trainer tells me they hit a plateau and they can't get more clients, I first ask them about their email list. Listen, for me, that's just like a woman who's in my menopause fitness classes or our online membership telling me she can't see any muscle tone. She can't get any strength. I ask her first about her protein intake. So if you aren't working on growing your email list, chances are that's a large part of why you can't get more fitness clients online or off. Before you get more sales skills or think you have to know how to sell better, you want to attract more people. More on that in a minute. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to Fitness Marketing Mastery, where I address marketing and sales strategies and tips. I also sometimes talk about insider information from my very large and still growing Flipping 50 community, where I've developed the Menopause Fitness Specialist course so that I can share with you what's worked so well for me in these last 8 years. But the whole idea is not just to build a business, it's to actually build a business and a life. So we use strategies that are easy, enjoyable, even fun, not sleazy and salesy, but that also don't paint you into a corner. We want to give you a quick injection of cash so that you can relax and then think about how do I build a sustainable business and pay the bills, but have fun with the money that I'm making. All right, if you're in, stay tuned. You should be subscribed if you're not. But let's talk about this. If you're not working on growing your email list, we've got to do it. Here's why. The problem with a small list is if you're in a launch, like you're promoting, like the program is going to start in 2 weeks and you're in that launch mode, talking about it constantly, panicking constantly, like I only have so many people and oh my gosh, I've got to do a live and I've got to post on social media and I've got to try to get more people signed up and paying me money today. You know that feeling, right? So that's what I mean by launch. So if you're in a launch with few people on your list and then you launch again with the same small list, there may be a small number who then tell you yes, because the last time you asked, it wasn't the best time for them before. Now it is. And there were people who maybe needed a little bit more time to know and trust you before deciding. But you'll also be losing a percentage of them, which you should expect. If you don't lose subscribers every time you email, you're probably not emailing enough. Those people are not seeing all of your posts every day, I mean, I think you think that if you email once a week, that's enough. Think about that. You're dating somebody. You go on a date with someone Wednesday to meet and greet. You don't hear from them again for a week. What do you think? You're like, oh, they must not have liked me, right? I guess it wasn't the spark on both sides. They didn't think it was that great, right? So that would be weird. It would be weird if you didn't hear from somebody. So I text people more than once a week, right? People that have been old boyfriends, right? From when I was 18 years old, I text them more frequently than once a week. So you got to really think about, are we friends here? Do I really want them to take action? You don't want somebody just to opt in to get on your email list and then to hear from you once a week. That's a little weird. So rethink that. And you may think, well, I'm posting all these other times and they're probably seeing all of it. No, and no. It's nice. It's lovely that you're thinking that they're following your every move, but they are not. They have a busy life. They have work. They have kids. They have partners or spouses or both. That's bad taste. But you get the idea. Come on, we're all really, really busy. And they're not seeing your timeline just because they're following you. It just doesn't work like that. So remember, they're busy. They want the news delivered with white glove service. And that's why they subscribed to email. They may not like social media even. So while you think they see and they hear you all the time in your daily messages, it's just not true. So if you have a small list, you can't get more clients online. We've got to work on growing that because you never, ever, ever want to really use social media for selling unless you are using a paid advertising campaign. I will say that again. I'm seeing it over and over, even with people that I've told, you're asking for people to join your program right there on your social media, and you haven't earned it yet. The relationship isn't strong. So you haven't had very many likes, maybe not very many shares or comments. And so you've got to wonder who is following that you keep asking to join your program. And maybe it's that handful of people that are saying yes, and that's great. But you really want to make sure that it's a subtle ask. Your first goal with social media is really to bring them to your social media or to your email list. So bring them over to your website for not your newsletter, because nobody wants one of those. It's 2022. That died in about 2010. Let's give it that. But we really want something special. Like you are going to give me the ABCs of something very, very niche. So that's what you should be delivering every week. So 3 reasons you can't get more clients online boil down to this. The email list you have now is small or it's abandoned. You've ignored them. And I would say even once a week, okay. So you've got the consistency, that's great. But I would try for a second time. Get 2 in there. And I would say that's probably the least that you're going to want to be sending on a regular basis. And establish those days. So if you always do it right now on Wednesday, you might start, a Tuesday or a Saturday or a Sunday. Those are big open days, by the way. So you want to look at what time of day am I delivering? What day of the week am I delivering? What's my open rate? Have I played and tested with doing other days? Because that might matter for your group. And number 2, you're attracting anyone, and it's too broad a group on your social media. So if you're just if you're kind of a hoe for, likes and shares and comments and more people joining your list and following you and getting more fans, and that just feels so good. It's like an ego stroke, but they're never going to buy from you. You don't really want them, right? So you've got to really get specific in your message. In order, you're not just after all midlife women. You're not just after all women in menopause. You're after a specific niche within that niche. We know how big that is, right? 6,000 women a day enter menopause. They're not all your customer. They're not. They wouldn't all enjoy you, and you, more importantly, wouldn't enjoy working with every one of them. We all have unique personalities, and we all have unique ways that we teach and styles that we deliver content. That's going to appeal to somebody. It's not going to appeal to other people. And they will be the people in your group that just drain you. So you want to get specific for that reason as well. And the third reason is you've got those inconsistent habits. You're busy, but you're not productive. And you don't potentially know how to prioritize. When you're looking at all the things that you could be doing, it feels really good sometimes just to be in action. But that can go really wrong because then you end up being really, really busy and having nothing to show for it. You feel like you've worked really hard all week, but you didn't get any new subscribers. You didn't get any new clients. The simple things that matter, that actually put money in your pocket, nobody wants to do. You call up one person every day all year, someone that you have thought about, picked out, and said, hey, I was thinking about you. I've got a couple ideas for you, and I'd love to know if you'd like to hear them. That's it. And you book an appointment. Now you've got a consultation with someone that you can help and you know how, and you give them a plan and you say, look, if you want help with this, I'd love to help you. Simple. You do that 365 days or take the holidays off. You will grow a thriving business and you will not be wondering where money comes from. And after that point, you will be able to decide, I'm not going to work one-on-one anymore. I'm going to do groups because I've proven myself. You got to get there. You got to get there first. Here's what I want you to focus on for productivity. So if these are the 3 reasons you can't get more clients online, you know I'm going to tell you what to do instead, right? 1, the email list you have right now is just too small or it's abandoned. It's kind of lonely. 2, you're attracting just anyone. It's too broad a group. So even if they are following you on social, they're not going to come over to your email list and be a potential buyer. And 3rd, you've got some inconsistent habits. And we've got to figure out not only what you do all day, every day, what is it that's productive? That at the end of the week, you'll have a new product. At the end of the week, you'll have a new freebie. At the end of the week, you get the idea. Have a plan. Okay. And you're emailing regularly. Here's what you need to focus on. Number 1, you do need to grow that email list. So you want to have a freebie that speaks or that piques interest and desire. And I'm going to link to my freebie builder cheat sheet. All right. So that's kind of a meta thing, right? I'm giving you a freebie on how to build freebies. And I'm not going to tell you, here's how you do a layout if you want to do a PDF, and here's how best to do video. I do give you some tips. And I give you some ideas on the platforms or the format that you're going to deliver it in, like a PDF or a video or an audio or a series or a one-time thing. But I get you to the essence of what it is that you want to create because of what your audience most wants solved. That's the freebie that you're looking for. And yes, I mean, there's probably 4 of them, 8 of them, 10 of them, but you're going to do one really, really well and make sure that it works. And that's how you get started. You're going to make sure that you're sharing relevant social media content, relevant to what is your program? What is the service? What is the solution that you provide? The problem that you solve is what? That's what you do in your program, ideally, I'm hoping. You're going to take a little piece of that, a little nugget of that, so that you can lead to, do you want more? I've got a freebie here that gives you 4 other ideas just like that, right? So make sure it's relevant. Don't just talk about anything, because you can talk about problems all day long, but if they don't link to something that you have, it's still out there in left field. It's really broad and bold, and you want to get a little bit more narrow so that you've got some immediate action happening so you don't get burnt out before you even get started. All right. You got to have a call to action. Right? So you want to have a call to action for those who want more. That is your freebie. That's where that happened. That is not, oh, you want more? My program is starting. Not too late to get started. That is social media, timelines, Instagram, Facebook. It's not the place to do that, not unless you've done paid advertising. Every time you do that, it hurts your organic growth. So if you're not growing any fans or followers, you have a dismal 10 or fewer people most of the time liking your content, you got to get some traction, and there's some mistakes you're making there. You want to have a profile page or profile link. So I will link to mine in the show notes here so you can see it. So you can use something like Linktree. You can use free to get started, but you want a place where you can say, my link is in the bio, and you don't put some ugly URL that nobody is ever going to scrape because they can't copy and paste it from your putting it into your post. And you're asking people to work way too hard while they're sitting at the dentist office scrolling through stuff. Okay. So don't make them do that. You want to have a live link somewhere that they can get to on their phone, because that's generally where 80 to 90% are looking at their Instagram. You need to attract the right kind of people to your social media. So first step before your email, right? So you're thinking they find you there. Strangers land on your content because it's good, because you're using hashtags appropriately and you know how many to use. Quiz, do you know how many hashtags to use right now? You could probably Google that and get that answer. But if you don't know that, we should know that. That's a big piece of your marketing, and you're missing out if you're using too few. You're also missing out if you're using some that are not related at all to what you're saying or posting or sharing. So you're confusing the algorithm, and you have to be careful with that. All right. So you want to attract those right kinds of people. So have you reviewed who you're attracting? Looked at, what are their common denominators? Looked at the insights, and not just gender and age, but you want to be asking them, you're conversing with them, you're asking questions every time they comment. You answer again with a question and ask something about them. That will help you. Do you clearly tell who this is for and who this is not when you're talking about content? When you're talking about what it is you do, this is for you if. This is not for you if. And I probably am due to say this myself, but my take on that is, this is for people who believe they don't have to settle anymore, who actually believe that by your daily habits and actions, epigenetics, we call that, you can change whatever genetic tendencies you may have. They don't have to express because you have certain genes. That's who I talk to. If you believe that we're all destined to get old and gaining weight is a natural thing that would happen with aging, and that's okay, you're probably not my people, right? And so you want to make sure that you're saying something strongly enough. And it might be in exactly that. This is for. Our site, our timeline here is for these people. It's not for people who believe X, Y, and Z. So that kind of post is also very popular and will divide the fences, which is exactly what you want. The third thing, remember, you're not focusing on consistency potentially. So if you focus on your social media more than you focus on your customers and your business, something is definitely wrong. Look, social media is free. I get it. You can be on it, but let's be clear here. A lot of us are just addicted to the hit that we get, the little bit of adrenaline, like, oh, did somebody more like it? More people liked it. More people shared it, or more people commented on it. And the truth of the matter is that really doesn't mean anything. It doesn't tell you anything. It is, at the end of the day, is nothing you can go to the bank with. So picking up the telephone, so working on that freebie, working on your course, but more importantly, your sales page, and knowing whether the copy you have on that sales page converts with the people that you want when they land there. So be honest. Do you get a little adrenaline hit when your video got, a number of views or on TikTok? Or are you frustrated when you spent half an hour creating a reel and it doesn't get much of anything? Your time and your energy gets sucked into social media, and it's not going to move the needle for you. So let's keep in mind that while it's necessary, it's something that takes a dedicated 15 minutes, maybe twice a day, and that's it. Between, you really need to be building the business that it's talking about. If you don't build the business, you don't have anything to talk about on social, right? So you don't have to post daily. Also, I want you to know that. Definitely not 4 times a day, but you do need to post. There is a difference between not being consistent and being strategic. And you'll see sometimes, if you followed me at, say, Instagram, Flipping 50 TV. So I have Flipping 50 TV and Flipping 50 TV both. I didn't have the option to get Flipping 50 when I first started. So I've built my following on Flipping 50 TV, and I'm Flipping 50 TV everywhere. So we're just keeping it. We're not going to, make people change and have to. I just use that other site as well, but that's not where I post. So follow me. But Flipping 50 TV, you'll see that on Instagram, I don't share every day necessarily. I usually do, but when I have something, a post that didn't get much traffic that I think is actually a good post, I will leave it there. Or if it's a date that warrants a little longer time, like over certain holidays, if I don't have I didn't have a specific Martin Luther King post. I didn't have some specific posts for Veterans Day, for instance, and there are some holidays where I realize, oh, darn it. You know what? I don't have anything great for today. And so I'm just not going to post. Like I wanted to honor the holiday, but I didn't want to like scramble and last minute create a post. So I didn't post that day. I let other, appropriate timeline posts fill the timeline and we just didn't. And sometimes if I have a post that's doing really well, maybe a video that's getting tons of traction, I will just leave it there to grow and get more traction. So sometimes you can cannibalize your own content if you keep posting and you post too much just on top of one another. Remember how busy people are. Some who don't have a life may be losing an hour or half an hour just watching TikTok videos or reels. And it's easy to do, but it is when people wake up, that is such a waste of time, right? And remember, they're watching one after the other for entertainment. They're not probably getting a lot of content from it. So just be careful about how much weight you give those or importance. So let's keep in mind, yes, you have to do it, but draw boundaries. Don't let yourself get sucked into that. Okay. So I have an action challenge for you. What do you need to focus on? So I listed those 3 problems. Where's your area? Do you have a funnel that converts? I'd focus on that before I built a course if you don't. Meaning you meet people on social media, but do you have a call to action that takes them to a freebie so they opt in? They give you their email list in exchange for the freebie. Do you have one that's converting really well for you? And are you using it? So if you have one, you're not using it. You don't know yet if it converts, so you better start using it. So there's a place where you need to focus here, but I'm trying to help you find, where is it? Do you have a system that you've proven works? So whatever it is that you do, whatever transformation you offer, somebody is standing at A and they want to go to Z and they can do it with you. What are the steps that you use in between that specific protocol or method or system or format that works for you? Is it yours? Is it unique? And has it been then tested on a pool of other people for testimonials and proof that it works? You want to be able to talk about that because that is your credibility. Any of us can make up a program and an acronym tonight, and sell it tomorrow or try, right? But if we don't have anybody that's proven it works and what the changes were, then that's going to be a little hard. Do you have copy that defines your unique difference? What I mean by that is, do you have the words, the language, the messaging on your sales pages, on your website homepage, on your emails, on your posts even, and on the messages, the responses to your posts that clearly define you and your unique difference? Because there's a million options for how to exercise, for instance. There's becoming a lot of options for working with a health coach. Why you? That's the question that you have to answer. So I want you to decide. That's the biggest action you're going to take right now. Decide where you really will get the biggest wins from focusing on, and then do it. Monitor your time on social media. And if your brain is constantly flirting to it, you're probably not getting much else done or not in a quality way. So I'm going to link to the resources that I mentioned in this episode before you visit it. My hope is that you're walking, or right now you're working out, because at least for me, that's when I listened and I get tons of clarity about what it is I'm doing. When I'm sitting at the desk staring at the screen or the piles of notes and yellow legal pads in my life that are all over the place, that is not when things come together. But when I'm out walking, you can see green. Generally, that's when ideas come to me and I get perfect clarity on what it is I really need to do. And I know it, like I feel it in my gut. So think about it. I hope that's where you're at right now. And that's what I recommend you do, right? So not maybe sitting in your sauna. I do that too. So it doesn't help me when I'm moving through like boot camp, like crazy sets of moves. Try it going for a walk. But I also want to give you this quick tip. I know that you've turned up the speed on those social media videos so that you can show like a lot of moves one by one by one and lots of energy and not necessarily give away a whole workout, but show little snippets. But I want to ask you something. Have you stopped to think that message, those videos may relay a frenzied kind of feeling that makes people think that you are a crazy intensity, frenzied pace kind of trainer. And maybe you are, but if you're listening to this and you're not, I would be very cautious about doing that. And think about showing a very small snippet of you instructing slower, methodically. Think about who comes to you. Who do you work best with? Do they want somebody that talks quick, moves fast? Or they more like, whoa, slow down. I want to really understand that. Say that again. So there are clients of all kinds, both of the kinds I just described. But what you need to know is, who are you attracting? And is that the people you work best with? So think about the emotions. How do you make people feel from the posts, from the videos that you share? So I hope I just laid a seed of, okay, I need to look at things through different eyes. Because yes, you will, and you may be copying reels or videos the same way other people are promoting them that seem to get lots of shares. But remember, you have to do you, and you also have to think about the client who's ideal for you to work with. What do they want? What are they feeling now? What do you want them to feel? And if you haven't gone through all of your everyday communications with someone like that without frame of mind, it'd be a good time to do that. That's the question of the day. How do you make viewers feel? And how does social media make you feel? Spend less time on it, more time on your business so it converts when you do reach them on social media. I'm going to put resources in the show notes. Those show notes, by the way, will be at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/3 reasons. I take that back. We're going to put that at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/get more clients online. And the reason is, otherwise that would be just way too long. I realize after the fact, Fitness Marketing Mastery is a very long URL. Y'all have those second thoughts sometimes. All right. What are you waiting for? The world needs us, you and I right now. Fitness professionals, health coaches, no matter what your niche within a niche is, they need us right now more than ever.